President Donald Trump has issued a strong warning to the BRICS nations, urging them to provide clear commitments to prevent the rise of any currency that could challenge the U.S. dollar's dominance. Trump emphasized his unwavering commitment to ensuring the U.S. dollar remains the leading global reserve currency. He also warned that severe economic sanctions, including the imposition of 100% tariffs, would be levied on any country attempting to undermine the dollar's supremacy. Last year, President Trump made it clear that the BRICS countries would never replace the U.S. dollar in global trade, stating that any nation attempting to do so would face tariffs and be excluded from the U.S. market. Earlier this year, he reiterated this stance on social media, cautioning that any BRICS nation seeking to weaken the dollar would face severe consequences, including full isolation from the American market. Despite these warnings, Brazil, which currently holds the BRICS presidency, is pushing ahead with reforms to reduce the group's reliance on the U.S. dollar. These reforms focus on enhancing cross-border payments in local currencies, which could gradually reduce the BRICS nations' dependence on the dollar. The goal is to streamline international payments using innovative technologies such as blockchain and improved payment systems, which would lower transaction costs and remove barriers to global trade. Brazil's successful domestic instant payment system, PIX, launched in 2020, has already disrupted traditional payment methods like cash and credit cards. This success is now being leveraged to build a more efficient international payment system. Additionally, Brazil's local currency payment system, SISML, in collaboration with Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay, allows for direct trade settlements in Brazilian reais, bypassing the U.S. dollar. While current SISML settlements take a few days to process, there is optimism that integrating instant payment technologies will make these transactions faster, more secure, and cost-effective. Later this month, BRICS representatives will meet in South Africa on the sidelines of the G20 summit, where Brazil will present its plans for the upcoming BRICS summit in July. The BRICS group continues to expand, with new members such as Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE joining the bloc. The push for local currency payments is part of a broader strategy to foster greater financial autonomy and resilience among emerging economies. The U.S. dollar's dominance as the global reserve currency dates back to the aftermath of World War II, when Allied nations convened at Bretton Woods in 1944 to establish a new international monetary system. The U.S. dollar was chosen as the central currency, with other currencies pegged to it and the dollar convertible to gold at a fixed rate. This arrangement provided a stable foundation for global trade and reinforced U.S. political and economic leadership. However, by the late 1960s, fiscal imbalances and inflation began to challenge the Bretton Woods system, and in 1971, President Richard Nixon suspended the dollar's convertibility into gold, marking the end of the Bretton Woods era and ushering in floating exchange rates. Despite these changes, the U.S. dollar retained its dominant position, further solidified by the petrodollar system established in the 1970s, where oil exporting countries agreed to price oil exclusively in U.S. dollars. Trump's recent statements reflect the United States' recognition of the growing momentum behind dollarization efforts and a concern about potential challenges to the dollar's position and the destabilizing effects this could have on the U.S. economy. A shift away from the dollar by major economies could lead to reduced demand for U.S. treasuries, higher borrowing costs, and diminished geopolitical influence, making it a critical issue for policymakers to monitor. In this video, we'll explore the latest developments, focusing on President Trump's warning to the BRICS nations and their progress in reducing their reliance on the U.S. dollar. Let's start by looking at the current status of dollarization. BRICS countries have been increasing the use of their own currencies in trade to reduce their dependence on the U.S. dollar. This movement is driven by both political and economic factors. In early 2023, China and Brazil, the two largest economies in the BRICS bloc, agreed to conduct trade in their own currencies: China's yuan, CNY, and Brazil's real, BRL. This move eliminates the need for the U.S. dollar as an intermediary, making trade more efficient and reducing exchange rate fluctuations. In 2022, China-Brazil trade reached around $150 billion, and using local currencies is expected to lower conversion fees and enhance financial independence for both countries. In addition, Iran and Russia have integrated their financial systems to enhance bilateral trade and bypass Western sanctions. In early 2023, both nations connected their national payment networks, allowing for the mutual acceptance of bank cards and reducing reliance on the global payment system, SWIFT. This integration enables financial transactions, including letters of credit and guarantees, without depending on SWIFT, thus limiting the impact of Western sanctions. Similarly, India and Russia have adopted local currencies for trade, especially in the energy sector. After sanctions were imposed on Russia in 2022, both countries increased the use of the Indian rupee, INR, and Russian ruble, RUB, to avoid dollar-based systems and shield themselves from external economic pressures. South Africa, the BRICS member with the smallest economy, has also begun settling more transactions in local currencies. In 2023, South Africa signed agreements to pay for certain imports like machinery and electronics in Chinese yuan, reducing its reliance on the US dollar and increasing liquidity in African markets. If you're enjoying this video, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could hit the like button to help us reach a wider audience. Feel free to share your thoughts or feedback in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. Now let's dive back into the discussion. BRICS Pay is a decentralized payment platform established by the BRICS nations: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Its primary goal is to facilitate seamless cross-border transactions using local currencies. This initiative is designed to reduce reliance on Western-dominated financial networks like SWIFT, strengthening the economic sovereignty of member countries. Launched in 2018 by the BRICS Business Council, the BRICS Pay project leverages existing national payment infrastructures, such as Russia's Mir network and India's Unified Payments Interface, UPI, to enable efficient international payments within BRICS countries. The system allows users to send and receive payments in their native currencies, simplifying currency conversions and reducing transaction costs. At its core, BRICS Pay is built on advanced blockchain technology, ensuring secure, transparent, and efficient financial transactions across BRICS nations. The system combines centralized domestic payment systems with a decentralized structure for international transactions, ensuring regulatory compliance and technological flexibility. National systems like Russia's Mir, India's UPI, and China's UnionPay are seamlessly integrated for local transactions, while blockchain facilitates direct peer-to-peer exchanges internationally, eliminating intermediaries and enabling real-time, efficient settlements. BRICS Pay's adaptability and scalability make it suitable for various technical and regulatory environments, allowing it to handle growing transaction volumes and onboard new participants without compromising efficiency. Interoperability is a key feature of BRICS Pay, ensuring smooth interaction between different national payment frameworks and facilitating seamless cross-border transactions. The distributed network also optimizes liquidity flows, offering real-time settlements in local currencies. These characteristics improve the system's efficiency and position it as a credible alternative to traditional financial platforms. By promoting the use of local currencies in international trade, BRICS Pay aims to challenge the US dollar's dominance in global transactions and foster a multipolar finance. In October 2024, BRICS Pay was officially launched at the 16th BRICS Summit in Kazan, Russia. Demonstrations showcased its potential as a blockchain-based cross-border payment system, positioning it as a viable alternative to traditional financial networks. The BRICS nations share a unified objective of enhancing their financial stability and mitigating risks related to currency volatility and geopolitical uncertainties. As part of their strategy, BRICS nations have been actively accumulating gold reserves. By the second quarter of 2024, BRICS countries had amassed approximately 6,200 tons of gold, accounting for 21.4% of global reserves. Russia leads with 2,040 tons, 8.1% of global holdings, followed by China with 2,600 tons, 7.8%. Notably, Brazil has nearly tripled its gold reserves since 2018, signaling a robust strategy to fortify its economic defenses. This gold accumulation reflects BRICS's broader goal of reducing dependence on the US dollar and enhancing financial sovereignty. The buildup of gold reserves serves several strategic purposes, such as diversifying monetary assets, shielding from sanctions, and bolstering independence in monetary policymaking. Gold also acts as a hedge against external financial risks, ensuring BRICS economies are better equipped to navigate global economic fluctuations and crises. The synchronized effort to accumulate gold, combined with initiatives like BRICS Pay, signals a move toward a multi-currency global monetary order and emphasizes the desire for financial autonomy. The global move away from reliance on the US dollar in trade and finance is driven by economic sovereignty, reserve diversification, and political motivations. Countries like Russia and China are promoting their own currencies in international trade to counterbalance US influence and contribute to a multipolar financial system. The shift is further supported by regional agreements, such as the China-Brazil Pact to use local currencies for trade, reducing the dollar's role in emerging markets. In response to these developments, President Trump has issued a stern warning, declaring on his Truth Social account that any BRICS countries attempting to weaken the dollar will face severe penalties, including 100% tariffs and exclusion from the U.S. market. Trump's campaign has emphasized making it financially unfeasible for countries to abandon the U.S. dollar. His rhetoric is consistent with his previous economic policies, which used tariffs to further U.S. interests. Trump's statements signal a resolute stance against any economic coalitions that threaten the dollar's dominance. The BRICS nations' push for new payment systems and alternative currencies represents a direct challenge to the U.S. dollar's status as the world's leading reserve currency. By developing alternative financial infrastructures and reducing dependence on dollar-based trade, BRICS is actively reshaping the global economic order. While this shift raises concerns in the U.S., which has long benefited from the dollar's dominance, it also reflects the desire of many countries for a more independent and equitable financial system. Trump's administration has voiced concerns about BRICS's coordinated actions, warning of potential risks to U.S. financial dominance. In response, Trump has escalated his rhetoric, underscoring the consequences for any country that challenges the dollar's hegemony. However, for many countries, the promise of greater financial autonomy outweighs these warnings, marking a critical point in the reconfiguration of global economic power. The BRICS initiative signals not only a challenge to the U.S. dollar, but also a broader declaration of economic sovereignty and a call for a fairer distribution of global financial influence in the 21st century. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you or sparked any thoughts, please show your support by liking and subscribing. Your engagement means the world to us. Don't forget to check out another video from our channel now playing on the screen.